about the story. You may know people who have been married more than once or multiple times, but they get a whistle for bludgeon sometimes, remembering the name of the new husband or remembering the name of the wife. And the other mate could get a little bit jealous hearing one of his four people that came before him mentioned. And so this is a tape on a couple that have been married multiple times and how they address one another. I hope you enjoy it, and it might bring to mind someone you know.
Bobolink. I see a bobolink. A rose-breasted grosbeak. A black-billed cuckoo. Grace, Grace, I see a black-billed cuckoo.
My name is Muriel, foolish man.
I know your name is Muriel. That's what I called you.
You called me Grace. Grace was your first wife.
I called you Muriel. You're just hard of hearing and won't admit it. Grace, Grace, that's what I said.
There, you said it.
What?
Grace, you called me Grace.
Silly old woman. You call me Harry, but I call you Grace.
Can't you hear yourself?
What?
I said, can't you hear yourself?
Of course I can hear myself. If you can't hear, I say you call me Harry. Sometimes your second husband, and sometimes George, your first.
I never did. You're saying that because you call me Grace, and once in a while Mary.
You just don't hear.
What's my name?
Silly question, Muriel. You're Muriel. Grace was my first wife. Mary was a long time ago.
Mary was before Grace.
No, she wasn't.
She was.
I should know who my first wife was. Damn it, woman.
Oh, that's safe. Just call me woman. We won't get confused. It's not very flattering, but it's better than being called the names of your other wives. Muriel. That's my name. And your name's Harry.
Did you hear? You called me Harry. Pot calling the kettle black.
Oh, you got me confused, that's all. You always could mix me up. Back then, when we were going to Europe.
We've never been to Europe. That was Harry.
You and I went to Europe.
We did not. Grace and I went to Europe on our honeymoon. That's when I had money, before women had taken it all.
I've been to Europe with you.
You and Harry went to Europe.
I went to Europe with George, too.
Well, I'm Herbert.
We never been to Europe?
Singly, not together.
I think we have. You've just forgotten.
I've got a perfectly good memory.
You can't even remember my name. You and I were in Venice together, and you're ashamed to remember it because of the scandalous good times we had. You loved me then.
I didn't love you when you were in Venice, having a scandalous good time with whichever one it was, George or Harry. Which was it?
It was you.
I've never been to Venice in my life.
Yesterday said you'd never been to Boston, and I proved you wrong on that. Your oldest daughter's daughter, by your first wife, had her bat mitzvah, and we went to it.
Grace?
The daughter's name?
No, Grace's girl.
Grace wasn't your first wife, Mary was.
Were you there? I tell you, one was enough. Two was more than plenty, and I don't know what got into me the third time.
You were sick, and you were too tight to hire a nurse, so you married me.
I got well. Why didn't I kick you out? Now, don't cry. You know I didn't mean it. You were always crying, carried on buckets at our son's wedding, took on something awful.
Son, we didn't have any children, and I don't cry. That was Mary. I'm Muriel.
It's no wonder I'm confused, which I'm not, but all the time saying Grace, Mary, Muriel.
I'm just trying to straighten you out.
What difference does it make? I answer when you call me Bernie.
I never called you Bernie. I maybe once or twice called you Harry when I woke up sudden like, and I didn't know where I was, but I never knew a Bernie.
Bernie.
Never heard of him?
He'd be pleased to hear that.
Who was he?
You were carrying on with him when I met you,
I was married to Harry when you met me?
and carrying on with Bernie, but he cleared out.
That must have been Grace.
You were carrying on with?
No, Grace must have been carrying on with Bernie.
Grace wasn't married before. I was her first.
Not married? Carrying on?
She was married to Harry and carrying on with Bernie.
You said she wasn't married before.
You were.
What day of the week is it?
What's that got to do with it?
You can't remember anything anymore, you senile old man. Bernie Walters.
That's him.
Who?
Bernie Walters.
I never heard of him.
You just said his name.
You've been sitting here for an hour and just repeating it.
You said Bernie Walters.
I said I never heard of him. And besides, I wasn't married to Harry when I met you. It was George. If I'd been married to Harry, I wouldn't have looked at you. Fine, strapping man. May he rest in peace. Oh, what he did in Venice.
You see, it was Harry in Venice.
Of course it was Harry in Venice.
You said it was me.
You? Huh? You wouldn't have it in you to do a thing like that.
What? A thing like what?
Don't be jealous of a dead man. I've done my best to forget him, George, like I promised when I married you.
I'm Herbert.
Do you keep repeating it so you won't forget who you are?
You called me George just now.
A hearing aid is a cheap thing.
See here, Grace.
I'm Muriel.
You talk about me. What about you? Muriel. I'm Muriel.
Cuckoo.
Where? Where's the cuckoo? I wouldn't call you Grace. Grace was soft and gentle and kind.
Why did you leave her then?
I didn't. She died.
Mary died, your first wife, and you got sick of Grace, and you left her and you married me.
Left Grace for you?
Yes, you silly old man.
All wrong. Grace was my darling.
She drove you crazy.
My first love.
Mary.
Mary drove me crazy.
She was your first love. You told me about it often enough. The two of you young colts prancing around in the nude.
Mary?
Yes.
I never saw Mary naked. That was her trouble. She was a cold woman.
That was Grace.
Grace I saw naked. Oh, how naked. There was never anyone nakeder.
You can only be naked. You can't be more or less naked.
You didn't know Grace.
Mary, I did know Grace.
Naked?
Keep a civil tongue in your head.
I never saw you naked.
No, and you're not likely to. What would be the point? You couldn't do anything about it.
Oh, that's what you think.
No, and I'm not likely to. You married me at 70, and you were through then, except for dreaming.
You're lying. We had some good goes together down on the beach.
You and I were never near a beach, and you were never near me in that way.
Old women forget. Forget the joys of the flesh. Why is that?
I don't forget Bernie.
Who?
Bernie Walters.
Never heard of him.
My second husband. I was married to him when Harry came along, but Harry went away and then you came along a long time after. Platonic marriage. That's what we've had, you and I, George. But it's all right.
Platonic under the willow tree that June?
What willow tree?
Oh, I've been good to you, Mary, for all your carping and your falling off in your old age. Because I remember that willow tree. Muriel never knew about it. We were wicked.
If I thought you knew what you were talking about, I'd get mad. But I know you're just babbling. Babbling Bernie. That's what Herbert used to say. How can you listen to him babble?
I'm Herbert.
If it makes you feel more secure, go on. Keep reminding yourself.
You called me Bernie.
Oh, sure, sure. And you've never been to Boston either.
I went there when my granddaughter was bat mitzvah.
Well, I'm glad you admit it.
Why shouldn't I admit it? If so, just try to confuse me. Bernie, Harry, George, Grace, Mary.
You started a long time ago, slipping. Only then you were more honest about it. Very touching. when we went to Florida and you gave me the tickets and said, Grace, my mind's slipping, take care of the tickets.
Your name's Muriel.
Yes, yes, lovey, my name's Muriel.
You referred to yourself as Grace.
Oh, very likely, very likely.
You said I gave you the tickets to Florida and said, Grace, my mind's slipping.
Well, it was.
I've never been to Florida.
Oh, well, what about the silk suit?
I never owned a silk suit.
You said it was the same suit you wore when you married Helen, and we had a long discussion about how ironic it was that you were wearing the same suit to run away with me.
Who's Helen?
You were married to her, silly.
I was running away to Florida with you, and I was so old my mind was slipping and I couldn't remember the tickets.
Lovey, you're running a lot of things together lately, and they happened at different times, and now they're together. Maybe you should just sit quietly for a while, Harry, till you get straightened out.
My name is Herbert.
That's right. We'll start from there. You're Herbert, and I'm Grace.
You're Muriel.
That's right. Now let's just leave it at that now, or you won't sleep tonight.
I always sleep.
A fortune for sleeping.
I never had one in my life.
And you've never been to Boston either, I suppose?
Never. Why should I have gone to Boston?
Only because our daughter lives there, and her daughter was being bat mitzvah.
We have no children together.
I think we shouldn't talk anymore. You're getting confused.
You never let me near your lily white body.
Ho, ho. And what about that afternoon under the willow tree? I think that's when we conceived Ralph.
Who's Ralph?
Ralph is your stepson, good God.
I conceived my stepson under the willow tree?
I prefer if we just remain quiet for a little while. You can't follow a train of thought for more than a moment, and it's been very tiring trying to jump back and forth with you. Just close your eyes and rest. Are your eyes hurting you?
No.
That medicine must be very good then.
What medicine?
You see, that's what I mean.
I never had medicine for my eyes.
Yes, all right. Well, let's not argue, George.
I'm Harry.
Yes, yes, all right. We'll just hold hands here. We'll try to doze a little and think of happier days.
Venice.
Oh, yes. Yes, wasn't that lovely? And you were so gallant, if slightly shocking. I remember.
The beach.
The willow tree.
You running around naked. Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yes, lovely.
I've been thinking, and I think du bist a bissel meshuggah.
Oh, we're finally on the same page. Because I was thinking, du bist im Ganzen verdreht. Did I remember to tell you today that I love you, Norm?
Norm? Who's Norm?
We better get ready, dear. Did you forget that we're going to a luncheon at Chabad?
No, I've been looking forward to it. Let's go.
Thank you. When I first saw this story, this little skit, I thought it could be apropos. We're married, it was just 10 years. And we forget to.